All right, this is Spoil It, the podcast devoted
To drinking milk.
to
Spoiled milk.
to spoiling anything that's on TV, games, movies, whatever. This week's topic is Bioshock Infinite, and yeah. All right.
Not longest game ever, most confusing game ever.
Most
Very,
confused. Why do you say that?
confusing.
Because it took a normal video game and like my brain and
It mind fucks you.
Well, let's just go from the get-go. What's going on here? All right, so you're this detective, man. I don't think they elaborate on how he's a detective, like what he does. Like,
I don't
He's
like
just
how
a
you can
detective.
only see his hands throughout the entire movie.
Well,
he's on the cover of the
throughout
game.
entire movie.
He looks
Throughout
like
the
James
entire
Bond.
game.
Entire game.
yeah.
To me.
I've been to movies.
But yeah, so you're this detective who just kind of is on a boat with some peeps. You going, get to the lighthouse.
They're actually twins.
You don't know that at this point in the video.
I mean,
So you go there and you're like, all right, I gotta get this girl. Man, she's hot.
That's about it.
And then, that's your motivation. You gotta,
Jimmy's version.
you gotta, I mean, I don't know. That's what
and
people
then,
said.
and then she turns out to be your daughter.
And you're like,
And
well,
then
then,
kills you. And then she kills you.
All right, then I
May-
thought some naughty things. About
maybe in
my
some
spot.
other universe,
All
lady.
right, well we're done with Spoil It, so no.
I don't know.
But yeah, I
Stupidness
mean,
aside.
like, it's kind of weird. Like, I wonder
Hello?
if you can hear that on the audio. It's like lightning,
stormy.
really
Stormy.
bad outside.
Probably.
right
Well,
now.
if they didn't, now they know it's happening. So they're
yeah,
gonna,
that's why I explained it. Because if
40
somebody was like, I wonder if they can hear that, and then never explained what they were trying to hear, then
No,
people would be angry.
It's people being beaten next door. You know? Don't
It's
call the
rain.
police. I'm sure it's justified. There's two sides of the story.
Murder.
Bioshock.
But Bioshock.
Back to Bioshock.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's definitely one of those games that the narrative is ridiculous. Like, and it makes sense as you're going through the game. Like, there's never a point when you're like, what's going on here?
At
Like,
the end.
the end, you start noticing stuff like the blackboard that what's his face is wearing.
Yeah.
Heads or
One.
tails.
Yeah, heads or tails.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And
One of the
everything
twins.
like that all of a sudden makes sense
Mhm.
after you see it, but initially you're like, okay,
Alright.
some random person doing bets, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's what I thought originally.
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
I mean, after the second or third time, I was like, okay, they're kind of significant.
I mean,
But-
you
Yeah.
can't not play it twice.
Yeah.
Because if you don't understand something, you have to go back and play it again. And you're like, oh my god, how did I miss that? And you feel dumb.
Yeah.
Then you play it.
Speaking of, did anybody play it in 1999 mode?
No, I
I
was
played
asking
like
him
half
about
of
it.
it, like
Yeah.
in 1999 mode.
What is the
Not
difference?
that bad.
Basically, it's unbelievably hard, and if you
It's not
run
hard.
out
I'm
of
not doing
money,
that.
then you have to start all over.
Oh yeah, if you have less than $100 when you die, the game ends.
Yeah.
Really?
That's yeah.
It's like permadeath, but not quite.
yeah.
So it's like an arcade game. Sort of.
Yeah, basically, like,
Like
if you look at
Sonic,
it that way,
pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
So,
you
it's like a
start
survive as
all
long
the
as you
way
can, I
over.
guess.
Yeah.
just hoard money.
Yeah.
I would.
Elizabeth is pretty good at throwing crap at you.
Good at
anyway, so-
everything.
Look, a catch. I know.
Oh, you want ammo, but it always comes.
Oh, let me
at the
just
most
cut my hair real
inconvenient
quick.
times. I didn't
BRB.
understand that either. I was like,
BRB.
how did you just?
It symbolizes how immensely she was feeling about stabbing someone in the back. You guys remember that part?
Shut up, Jimmy.
What? It's deep. You gotta look past the line, between the lines, and through the
The whole
glass.
game's like
Yeah.
symbolism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
complete
definitely was.
symbolism.
I mean, like,
I know what I'm talking about. I did research. I did research. You
hey,
guys just
I
like.
haven't played the game since it came out.
Neither have
so
I.
It's
I
got
did
the game from
research.
Red
you did
Box.
research again, whatever.
Wikipedia.
Screw you. Yeah, because that's a reliable
Shout outs
source.
to Wikipedia.
Shout out.
But I mean, so you two played it like this week, like that's why we're basically doing that now. What is your
Yeah.
guys' freshest opinion of it?
Well, it's
What
kind
is there to
of.
say?
It's just not a normal video game, I guess I could say. Like,
I'd agree with that.
it's like you've got. I don't know. Usually, video games are the two main parts of the storyline and the gameplay. I like the storyline. I did not like the gameplay as much.
Yeah.
in comparison to others.
I don't like that you only see his hands.
Why is that your biggest complaint?
Because she's all about being in third person.
Yeah, like that's the only games that I play are third person.
I mean, it would have been cool if you had like a toggle button, you know?
But I think like that kind of pulls you out of the whole fact that like you are Booker.
And your Comstock.
Well,
Whoa. What?
spoiler. Oh wait.
It's called Spoil It.
Oh. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It's definitely interesting from that perspective. I think if you were in third person, it wouldn't be as enjoyable, maybe.
But you don't know what his face looks like until you like, unless
on the
you look at the
box.
cover. So if you just like, forever from now, decide like, oh, I'm gonna rent this from some other place besides Blockbuster because they don't exist anymore, and they give you just like this random piece of paper in front of the case, and you don't know what he looks like, then you're gonna be like, I wonder what he looks like.
Because
And you'll never
internet.
know.
Well, actually,
What if you don't have internet? What if you're
Contrary-
in Africa? What if?
and then you're fighting malaria all day, right?
All day,
Exactly.
all day, every day.
But contrary to your belief, not popular belief, in the beginning of the game, when you walk into the lighthouse, there's like the first thing you walk into, that sign says, you know, for love of shepherd man, he's great, and it's all cross stitch, right? Remember that, obviously. And then there's a little bucket of water right there.
Oh, the
And then you're
reflection from the water.
That's his face right there.
For like 2 seconds.
True.
Well, then when
And then
you
when you're launching,
yeah,
too,
you see
the
your face in the
reflection.
reflection.
Maybe if you blink
Your argument
during
is
those
invalid. Okay, unless there's a ghost just kind of following you
That's what I
around
thought it was
in
at
all
first.
the
I was like,
reflections.
what is this?
What are you doing over there?
There's a man outside the clouds.
It's following me
outside the clouds.
Yeah, outside in the clouds.
outside the clouds next to Animus album, right?
That's a good idea.
I don't know. But yeah,
Okay. So it starts off with, like you were saying, the boat and just kind of going.
and the lighthouse,
going-
which is representative of lots of things.
a lot of things.
A lot of things.
Especially like once you get like towards the end and everything, and you beat the game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
All right.
And that's
So wait, in that, you know, scene, part again, is that you walking into another reality, or is that just a lighthouse? I don't know.
True.
There's a lot of
Limbo.
things that aren't
Maybe just
explained
I don't know.
in this game.
Like, why
Like,
does
it's-
Elizabeth even have these magic powers?
Why
Did
did
I
she
miss
cut her
that?
hair?
That was the most important
I
part,
know why.
really. Why is that?
The twins, the girl and the guy that end up following you around and helping you with stuff throughout the entire
Lutesses.
game. Yes. They end up making this machine that can tear rips in time and space. And they, Elizabeth ends up finding out about this machine, and they somehow combined her with that machine. And the reason she has her pinky part, like,
Yeah.
is because she was being taken, that makes a lot of sense, through one of these rips, and it closes on her finger. And she's like,
I wonder if he like picked it up and just kind of like stuck it in his pocket.
Oh, this is my daughter's. I'm gonna.
Oh,
see
it's all I
this.
have to
3/4
remember
into the
her
game, he
with.
just like pulls out this bottle of the pinky. He's like, this makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
It says Anne on it.
I don't know.
she looks
Remember.
at you like, that's been in your pocket the entire time.
Yeah, you can have it back if you want. I have some super glue. I don't know. But
You just have like this dead dangling pinky.
thanks, Dad.
Scary movie. Grandma Stronger.
Yeah, they experiment on her, so she gets the powers.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
It's like everything's kind of foggy.
Yeah.
Like I remember the main gist of things, but like the reasons things happen was just kind of
Yeah. I mean,
True.
you really got to play the game more than once.
yeah,
Very true.
definitely.
I mean, I don't know. I like to point out the music references in there. That was
Yes.
so good.
Yes,
I was so like, I noticed it and I was like, oh, that's so neat. I'm like, this is a cool beach scene, going on the beach, hanging out with all these white folk, and then I mean, like, oh, wait, what is that? What is that accordion I hear? That sounds like a familiar melody. Is that girls just want to have fun? Yeah, it is. And I'm like, all right. I wonder who's getting sued for that one. But no one gets sued because he stole it from another time. Fink, that is. Mr. Fink travels in time and steals music and makes money off of it.
They have a lot of actually media references in this game.
Yeah.
Like there's movie posters in different parts. I'm pretty sure there's like Star Wars at
Yeah,
some
there was
point.
Revenge of the Jedi
Yeah.
in
Yep.
France or whatever.
Which
it is.
was that was
supposed to be the title of it,
Yeah.
and they changed it like
right before release,
Yeah.
wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
like just a month or so before release.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I was
And then-
really digging the graphics for this game.
Yeah,
yeah, it's beautiful.
that is a
So
good
good.
game.
Like you get on to Columbia and everything, and like go through that church
Mhm.
and all that stuff, and it's like, okay, this is pretty, but it kind of looks like the original Bioshocks and
Yeah.
everything,
Mhm.
just kind of up-resed, because it's kind of dark and gloomy in there.
Yeah,
But then you step out onto like the
Courtyard
main,
area.
yeah, the main
Yeah.
courtyard of
and you're
Columbia.
like
and
Ben
it's-
Jefferson. Oh, it's beautiful.
But I mean, the whole like the way everything is done is
Mhm.
just gorgeous. Like everything is
Oh,
still
yeah.
moving. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all on
Mhm.
freaking blimp, so
To
it
be-
should be
yeah,
moving.
To be
but-
honest, like that whole like beginning part, like in Columbia, it was like, dude, this is so cool. Like if this was the whole game, I'd be okay with that. You know,
Right?
it was
True.
so cool and like pretty and like
just wandering
Interesting.
around. Yeah, just wandering around and like
yeah.
It's good that
taking
you're
in the sights
able.
before they figured out that you were the false shepherd. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I like how the beginning of the game wasn't just a cutscene. It was like you experienced it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a lot different in comparison.
It definitely has some like racially insensitive things.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
it's
what the
it's
times
You
are.
won the
Yeah.
raffle!
Exactly.
Hit the
Was it
button
1912?
first.
yeah, I was around there, like 1910 or something
Yeah.
like that, I believe.
Something like right before
Yeah.
all of that.
Did any of you even
But-
notice the AD on your hand, like before it was pointed out? I didn't notice, but second
Oh, really?
playthrough I saw it, and I was like, oh, wow, it's
Yeah,
been there
I
the
didn't
whole
notice it
time.
at first until I got to the
Yeah,
part.
when it happened, I was like, who put that on me? Are they just trolling me, man? What is up with this? And I'm like, wow, how'd they know? Am I the devil? No.
I think it's funny how they don't even the police don't even like notice you when you just put a rag over your hand and
Yeah.
she cuts her hair. It's like, oh, we're looking for a girl and a guy traveling
They
together.
look
but-
a lot like you, except for one doesn't have a rag on their hand, and the other one has long hair.
and the missing
Oh.
pinky isn't a.
These aren't the
Giveaway
crazy
or
people you're
anything.
looking for.
I just wear a thimble on my
Just a
pinky.
thimble. It's,
No
you know,
reason.
I'm
It's
a
just a
trendsetter.
Sewing.
I was making dresses earlier.
What pockets now?
so why is your pinky shorter?
It's a birth defect, girl. I mean, what's your problem?
Woman,
Hey,
deal with the times.
so
But yeah, like the game, the way it ties everything together is definitely something I haven't
yeah.
seen in other video games.
did
Yeah.
really well.
It'd be
Like,
better if they did
it's-
that at a certain point besides the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's like the best part of the game, the way that you waited for the final resolution until the very end, and then
Yeah.
all of it made sense. Like
Yeah.
even things that weren't confusing you were clarified. It
Mhm.
was like the chalkboard and everything. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I know why a lot of people are really, really confused with this game, because right when it ends, after Elizabeth kills him, and they all like drowned him and whatnot, afterwards the credits start to scroll, and people are probably like, oh, it's the credits. Shit, it's done. So then
Yeah.
they turn their Xbox off, but right after the credits, there's another scene that shows Booker in his apartment again
Mhm.
with the baby crying. So it's like, okay, well, they didn't die.
Do over.
They did not die.
Yeah.
Which
Just
I
Comstock died.
which is cool. Like especially with this new expansion pack coming out soon.
Excited.
What's it called?
Dead Sea or something like that. I don't know. Buried at Sea. Buried at Sea.
Yeah.
Curious to see how that gets wrapped into it all.
Well,
Yeah.
Somehow, like even if it branches off, I still want to know how they're gonna.
The way that they show it, like when you and Elizabeth are going through like all the alternate realities with all of the different lighthouses, and how all of the stars are different lighthouses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Each one you walk through is bringing you to a different reality where you see, thousands of you as well doing the same exact thing. I think that, like, even after Burial at Sea, they're going to continue
I
the
think they
Elizabeth
should.
Booker
I
storyline.
would hope so.
I sure hope so.
I don't
But
know.
it's one of those things where it's like the story is beautifully done now. Like, are they going to screw it up by doing the whole, oh, but this really didn't happen in this reality,
Like
but it
Lion
happened.
King,
There's
one
a
and a
lot of
half.
different ways
Yeah.
they can
Made no sense.
Yeah,
do
I
that.
don't know. I remember, like, didn't someone, like, go out and say, like, there was going to be a DLC where there was two different characters that they were going to do? I remember hearing that. Like, it wasn't going to be Booker and Elizabeth.
It's possible.
I don't know. I
it makes
remember hearing
sense.
that.
It's
I could be wrong.
Bioshock.
Yeah.
We went through different, like, this is our third, like, group of people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
It could go either way, I think, because there's so much they could do with the Elizabeth Booker thing.
One could
But
say
at the same
there's
time, they could just completely
One
They
could
could
say
put them
there's
literally anywhere.
infinite possibilities.
infinite possibilities.
Wow.
You're funny.
Oh, whew, that was a good one.
Oh man.
Show's over, guys. That's it. That's all I got.
That's all we got.
Yeah. I mean, the game's awesome. You know, did you guys catch the Forested Sun song?
Yeah.
After the revolution, I was like, yeah. And there was like, before that, in like the shanty town, there was this little kid playing guitar, and then this girl singing. I don't know what the song was, but it was pretty cool. It was like, I pawn my watch, pawn my shoes, and then I pawn everything, and then I'm like, oh, that's so sad. You little girl pawning your watch and your shoes. You're like 6. What is this? That's so sad. And I was like, they stole that song. That's through time and space and magic. And they taught it to 6-year-olds in Shantytown. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool.
Okay, so this isn't, well, I mean, it's kind of still Bioshock Infinite. Do you have any, like, ideas of what might happen with the Burial at Sea? Like,
I don't know. It seems like, I don't know how they're going to connect it, which seems really interesting. It's like, they don't seem like they even know who each other are. Like, you know, it's the beginning of, it's like, what is it, like the day before New Year's Eve or whatever when the revolution happens in Rapture. So it's like, why are they even there? If they don't know each other, like, what's the context that they're even there?
It could just be a whole, like, just like you said, like Booker and Elizabeth just in Rapture, because you said it was a prequel, right?
It's a prequel to
The first
Bioshock
Bioshock
1.
Yeah. So it could just be like an alternate reality of them in Rapture or something.
It turns out you're Andrew Ryan.
I mean, for all we know, it could
Which,
be.
and the sad thing is that that's definitely possible.
I guess, yeah.
I just want
you
to find
being
out
Andrew
where
Ryan.
his wife went. Like, why does he
probably
have a
died.
baby in an apartment and there's no, like...
Maybe it was
It
late
was
night
Elizabeth.
at the bar.
Elizabeth gave birth to herself?
No.
Oh, gross. Time incest.
All right, this is our 2-minute warning.
Really?
So, yep.
We haven't covered anything.
Do you want to go over?
I don't know. Do you want us to go over? Like, comment, and subscribe, and whatever.
Or how about this?
I don't know.
Okay,
Wherever the
'cause
boxes are.
we
Yeah.
do have to cut it at 20 minutes tonight.
That's fine.
So, why don't we do part 2 of this next week?
Okay.
Okay. I think.
Bottom line for this podcast, if you haven't played the game, why are you even watching this? Just
Yeah.
go play the
Shouldn't
game.
be.
Go play.
Yeah.
If you've played it before, play it again. It's pretty good. I think so.
It's definitely worth a play. I
You'll
mean,
definitely go, whoa. I didn't
Multiple
notice that.
times.
Mind
Totally.
fucked.
Like 200 times.
if you don't feel like dropping the $60 or waiting until it goes used for 25,
Yeah.
I definitely would suggest that you go and rent it from Redbox or Gamefly it or something like that. It's
Redbox.
definitely a fun game and it's worth going through the story once at least.
At least play it on easy and just
Yeah.
blow through the story. You know.
I mean,
Can
unless you're
always-
like me and care about gamer score.
Yeah,
True.
that's a problem.
But
Very true.
Do that after you see if you like it first.
Well, I should know how it ended. You know.
1999 mode.
If you somehow manage to find a Blockbuster, it's only like $3.
Managed to find a
No,
black
what is it
poster.
for
All hope is
Redbox?
lost.
Isn't it like
$2 a
$2 a
day.
day.
$2 a day?
About average. It's like 2 something, but $2 a day. No, it's like 3 for the week at the Blockbuster, but they don't really exist very often. So
very often.
very often
Once
anymore.
every
Found
blue
one in,
moon,
like, Tampa.
there's a Blockbuster.
So-
that shows
There's
up.
one in Tampa.
Yeah.
I think there's still one on like 49th Street. I think I've seen the sign. I don't see out of business.
All I know is I still have my Blockbuster membership, or my mom's Blockbuster Blockbuster membership from like our first house in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like that's an
Wonder if that one's
ancient
still there.
artifact
Yeah.
at
Keep
this
it.
point in
Jeez.
time. but yeah. So next week we will be going over the gist of the story. This week was basically just a conversation of what we felt. Next week will be what actually happened. So if you're watching this and you haven't played the game, I don't know why you're here in the first
Yeah.
place.
You
It
should
won't
like
be a
unwatch
spoiler,
it
It will be a lot.
Yeah.
because it's been spoiled.
Travel back in time into another reality where you didn't watch it.
Yeah.
And then play the game and then watch it again.
Find a lighthouse.
Come back into your other reality and then maybe your nose will start bleeding.
Your pinky will come off.
I don't know.
Your pinky will just fall off. Just and then you're
Then
only
you'll know you won't remember.
Oh
anything.
man.
All right. So this was the very first episode of Spoil It. And since I guess we didn't even do an introduction
Nope.
of who is who, I'm Jacob.
Sarah.
Jimmy.
Me too.
And that's Jimmy as well.
Yeah.
All right. So see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Later, homies.
Cool. No more guana lights.
Oh, I'm gonna miss them.